What's up, guys? How's everyone doing today? It is Monday, June 15th at 7:15 a.m. here in Sydney, Australia. I've been up for a few hours now. I usually wake up around 5 a.m. I got some clients I have to take care of. I get to coach here in a couple hours, but what a busy Monday morning for sports. I'm watching the World Cup. The Dutch are currently beating Japan 1-0 in the 56th minute. Shout out to Australia for beating Turkey, beating that ass last night. Australia shocking everyone. I think they went in as 6-1 dog. They got the victory. And Japan just equalized the Dutch 1-1. I'm such a soccer casual. I only watch during the World Cup, but this shit's exciting. So shout out to America jumping out to a nice little introduction to the World Cup, getting a massive victory. But Japan just equalized at 1-1. It was only a matter of time. Japan's style of play is so disciplined. They don't take a lot of risks. The Dutch, man, I told everybody the first World Cup I watched was that World Cup when they played Germany in the semis, and they had Von Persie and they had Robin, and they're just I love their style of play, and that's exactly how they're playing now. But they got the work cut out for them now, 1-1 with in the 60th minute with Japan. So, guys, if you're not in our Discord, become a JSB Insider. It's a couple bucks a month. You can either join here on YouTube or join on Patreon. Whichever one you choose, you get access to. We play all the fights. So we're playing the World Cup right now. I'll show you what the Discord looks like. We have some of our JSB Insiders will stream all these sporting events, so it's not just boxing. We have the Salida Promotions card today. I got action on Joshua Pagan. I got action on Bomba. We have UFC White House today. There's 7 fights. We got action there. And we have a lot of tickets that are live. So in this stream, I'll probably stay on for about an hour. I'll go over the weekend action that was. We had the Eye of the Tiger card. Thank God I avoided Mehmet Unal, the parlay killer. So I didn't have any action on Unal, and he totally shit the bed. We hit our short parlay. So it's a game of inches. You know this betting thing. Game of inches. If you're betting to get rich, please leave my channel. We don't watch it here. This is we are a community. We're a sports community for the love of the game. I don't tell anybody that you're gonna come and get rich gambling and betting on sports. It's a reckless way to think, in my opinion. But if you love the game, it's very entertaining. It's very fun. You do your own research. Only bet what you could afford, and let's get after it. JSB Insiders, we up. Short parlay hit. Our long parlay got dusted due to Artiga losing, which is fine. It was a close fight. Artiga started off a bit slow. That was on the MVP card. That was short unit stuff for me. The biggest bet that I missed this weekend, I lost by 13 seconds. I took the over 5.5. Bam Rodriguez versus Vargas, and we needed 13 more seconds, and things just didn't go our way. So that when those things happen, what could you do? You know what I'm saying? But we have a lot of action still live. 3 of our 6 tickets this weekend were UFC, so those tickets are all live. We took the fight to go the distance between Jordan Martinez and Pulpico, and that hit, and we just need Bomba on the money line. I snagged. I said it all week. I didn't have any action all week. I didn't give the JSB Insiders any play on a money line bet of Pulpica versus Jordan, but I said I was going to have my eyes on the line all week. I was waiting to see if those odds would flip, and then 20 minutes before fight time, I smashed Pulpica on the money line, got him at plus money, so that one hit. I didn't share that one. I posted that one on Instagram. He beat the brakes off of Jordan Martinez. He just better fighter. You know what I mean? We were kind of detailing that throughout the week with the fight camp, with RGBA, with probably everything that we saw. Like, you get a guy like Jordan Martinez in their first fight. There's an element of surprise, 7-1 underdog, a domestic Arizona kid. And you get a guy like Popico who has all the hype around him, the shine, the RGBA sort of effect, and he just came out flat. And so a lot of the boys that I knew who had money going in on that fight with Popico, they were like, he's gonna add a level. They were like, the element of surprise is gone, and that's exactly what happened. So shout out to whoever hit on that. And then I told you, Auntie Alif. Auntie Alif did what she needed to do. Her power was too much for the little Tortina. And I know a lot of you guys said Tellez. I definitely didn't. A lot of you guys said Jordan Martinez. I definitely didn't. It's that over. It's the 13 seconds. 13 seconds, which separated an opportunity for a great day yesterday for us. But these are the breaks. We're gonna go over those tickets real quick. Okay, so if you guys are on the Grizz, give me a follow. Be like, hey Jay, what's up, player? This is so and so from YouTube. Okay, yeah, Bam. He got hit a lot though. If you watch I did a live stream with Breaking Bad a couple days ago, and I was just rewatching it because there's some controversy. Shout out to Breaking Bad. If you go to the 27th minute, yeah, the 27th minute, it went exactly how I thought it was going to go. I said Vargas was better than people thought. I said that Vargas was his power was gonna, at least be a question for Bam to answer. Vargas was winning on all the scorecards going into the sixth. And he was touching Bam. Bam was getting hit way too much for me. For all of Vargas's shortcomings, stiffness, lack of head movement, etc., tough as nails. He just couldn't last 13 more seconds, which this is week 3 of me playing the overs. Week 1 I hit an over, and now I'm 0 for my last 2. So it's still a new thing for me. Still getting used to that sort of bet. It's a fun bet. It's a stressful bet. Believe that. Betting, all the boys out there who are making a living on betting over and unders, man, my hat goes off to you because that shit's stressful. Okay. So this our short parlay hit. Look, we're gonna find wins. We're gonna find our long parlay hit last weekend, which was a terrible week, but we still came out with a winner. Our short parlay already hit with 4 tickets that are still live. We have our UFC dog. We have a UFC triple, a UFC double, and then we need Bomba Martinez. So we could end up going 5 for 7 this week. Japan scored again 2-1. Oh no, the Dutch. The Dutch just scored 2-1. Dude, bro, World Cup soccer's off the meat rack on some real levels. World Cup soccer's off the meat rack. So Chabot, Moreno, Boudouin, Wilkins, and Auntie Leaf. That was our short parlay. Our long parlay would have hit. Artiga lost. What could you do? Look, when you do this as much as I do, guys, you don't get married to your bets. You don't get married to your wins. You don't get married to your losses. You just win. You win and move on, or you lose and move on. Let's get it. Bam looks, man, dude. Nobody was saying Bam was going to lose. You know what I'm saying? The whole crew was divided on time. This is how good Bam Rodriguez is. When he fights, the value, you can't just pick him to win because the bookies, they know what time it is. You know what I mean? He was like a 15-1 favorite. So you have to get sexy. So a guy is special when you're debating. I did a debate with Nick, and we're agreeing on the outcome. Nobody was saying Bam was going to lose. Everybody was saying Bam was going to win by stoppage. It's just that he's so good. We were relegated to debating when that stoppage was going to come. So my book, I smashed it at a full unit at over 5.5. It went into the 6th round. That is going to be a tough one to get past. 13 seconds is crazy, but he found the stoppage in brutal fashion, especially the way Vargas, when he drops to one knee, they're punching and Bam threw like a really unique punch sequence. You know, I don't think I ever really saw Bam throw that combination. And it's just the way how it was a short straight that caught Vargas and how he dropped to a knee. It reminds me of, like, if you guys ever watch Game of Thrones, there were like when you're sword fighting in battle, sometimes during like the fight scenes in Game of Thrones, somebody would catch a sword and they would just cut right in half. It looked like Vargas got cut right in half. But we're gonna continue on. I'm gonna say what's up to the boys in a second. We're 10 minutes in, 30 of you boys in here. Like this video. I might go live again today too. 2-1, the Dutch are up against Japan. Yeah, look at this. Missed by 5.5 seconds. Missed by 13 seconds. Right there. Absolutely insane. Had some controversy. So some of the books, this is one of our JSB insiders, Wiley. He gets paid out. The books actually paid out the over 5.5. There is, look, I always say our Discord is a betting academy, right? This is a point of education here. If you ever play the 5.5, that means that the fight has to go over 5.5. If it goes past the fifth round, you have to look at each round in its entirety. So, oh my God, great save. Over 5.5 would mean you have to go all 5 rounds. You have to go into the sixth round. How many minutes are each round? 3 minutes. What's half of 3 minutes? Simple maths, 90 seconds. So for it to hit the over, it has to go 91 seconds into the sixth round. That's why the over didn't hit. And this is, yeah, so this is the bet. I was on the fence. I didn't pull the trigger during the week, so I didn't give this to the JSB insiders. But you guys should have known my lean all week. All week, a lot of you guys were on Martinez. I wasn't. And I wrote this. I said, I told the boys all week I was playing the distance, which I did. I did give you guys that bet. You'll see it in a second. And was hesitant on playing this fight due to the odds. I thought, like, Arturo going to the first fight as a 6-7 to 1 favorite, and then him only being a slight favorite. I was like, if that's the case, we could just wait, and then I bet you by fight night he'll be the dog. And if I was like, if he's the dog, I'm gonna jump. And so I circled the time. So the fight started at 11:55 a.m. on Sunday. I put this bet in at 11:31 a.m. So 25 minutes, and I got Arturo at plus 112. And so I told the boys all week, Arturo is the dog. Yeah. So this is an example of sometimes patience. Patience can pay off. And you've heard me say this before. I know I've heard 3D say that he doesn't like if he sees a winner or a loser or a bet he likes, he doesn't like waiting for odds to shift. I always wait. I think sometimes having patience could pay off when we're looking at a return. You know what I'm saying? And so sometimes having patience, if I'm a plus money better, you know what I'm saying? None of my picks I give are going to be like getting Arturo at $1.90 and Jordan being the favorite when I'm leaning Arturo. I'm not going to just give the team a 90% return ticket. And by that time, I didn't want to pair him with anything. So it was for me, it was Arturo plus money or nothing, or just that the fight will go the distance. And so that's an example of sometimes patience up into the 11th hour could pay off. So this is the ticket I gave. And that's the one the boys have. We just need Bomba. So that's the fight to go. This was a safer one, plus 117, as you can see up there. We just need Bomba to hit, and then that one cashes. These are scenes. The UFC. This is the UFC card. It starts in a couple hours. These scenes out of DC are absolutely insane. That's at the weigh-in. I know this is Bomba and Perez. Some of the boys in the Discord like Perez, what he looks like. They like that little side delt. I think Bomba is going to teach him. I like Bomba on points here. And it's fight day. All right, I'm going to say what's up to everyone now. Actually, I'm going to pull up. So for all you boys who aren't in the Discord, I'm going to show you a little bit of the value of joining our Discord real quick. The value, other than the community side, other than us being a pro sports betting academy, boxing, MMA, soccer, all pro sports, is you're going to save thousands. You're going to save thousands of not paying for streams. So the boys are currently watching. We do live stream fights. The boys are currently watching. I think this is Sleeta promotion card.
Sixth final round.
And I'm going to take that off the screen so I don't get flagged. But that's what time it is. So they're playing. Shout out to KO. He's playing our he's one. We have some. If you guys are in the Discord, give some love to KO. Give some love to Mayweather. Give some love to Doovie Kid. These are boys who proactively will stream all the events, and so it's so textbook now that I used to spend thousands of dollars on the UFCs, all the boxing pay-per-views, and our Discord has grown in such a way as a community. It's reliable. I'm like, hey, the UFC will be on in our Discord. So that's where I'll be watching it today. Save you the cash. So I'm going to say what's up to everybody. Let's pull up the odds too real quick. Actually, I want to see what the chat's saying. I'm going to pull up. We're going to look at the odds. We're 15 minutes in. 40 of you guys in here like the video. Mosby, my guy, with the super chat. Thanks, brother. I don't get the over. I don't get the over. The amount the ref waved it off the time was 144, which is over 5.5. But they counted the moment he got dropped, which is bullshit. Yeah, we still do. Yeah, let's get that over and under is a learning experience for a lot of us. And I think I covered it. I did the best of my ability of explaining what the over 5.5 would entail. The fight has to go into the sixth, and it has to go 91 seconds into the sixth for that over 5.5 to hit. Okay, so appreciate you, Mosby. Tipkin, I know that one's gonna hurt us, boys. That 13 seconds is gonna hurt us for a little bit. Yeah, Japan just scored, so I'll catch up. Okay, what's good, Brody? UFC need 2 more late. Let's go, Hogan and Bo Nickel. Come on, baby. We are still live. Betting is a blood sport, boy. Tipkin, betting's a blood sport. I want to get rich and love the game. Hey, man, get rich with your skills. Like, first you need to identify what rich is. Everyone's perspective is going to be different. What is value to you? What is wealth to you? Having everything you need. I always tell my buddies, young bucks, I was like, the minute you get to a place in your life where you could go to any restaurant, wherever you want to go, and order anything off the menu, you've made it. Life's simple. I oversimplify life. I remember growing up as a kid, my parents were on welfare, we were on food stamps. I was never able to, like, it was embarrassing going to like the grocery store as like a 10-year-old, being the best at sports, and then seeing like my peers in the grocery store, my mom's pulling out the food stamps. So that always left an impression on me. And that was always like, I was like, when I get to the certain age, I'm going to create a life for myself where I'll be able to. And it sounds rudimentary, but that was a real thing growing up. 4 kids. My mom was in college for a long time. We were on government assistance, and then she ended up becoming a nurse, and then things got better the older I got. But those formidable years, from the time I can remember up until I was about 15, shit was brutal. So getting rich, it's more of like a philosophy. If you're coming to the betting community and you're thinking that you're going to put the money on these wins, and something that the universe doesn't know, I mean, that's going to create a lot of stress for you, bro. Good luck with that. The Discord guy, King Louis, bro. The Discord will have you second guessing, boy. I told you, King. I told you guys week in and week out. If you've done your research and you have your money on a fighter and your boots are dug in, the last place you want to go to is that Discord before the fight, because that Discord, boy, them boys they'll make you second guess. Dude, think about our whole Discord was on Tortina yesterday. The whole Discord was on Tortina and Jordan Martinez. And so I'm not even messaging. By the time the fight night starts, my money was already heavy on Auntie Talif. My money was already on the Popoka over. And then right before the fight started, I knew I was going to take Popoka to plus money. But dude, the Discord those boys in there got hammered taking Jordan, and they got hammered taking Tortina. I took Arturo plus 115. There, Gil, shout out to Gil. Gil is our moderator in the Discord. If you guys need anything, any sort of like, any questions about how to navigate the Discord, at Gil. He's our guy. 75th minute, the Dutch are up 2-1. What do you think of Pacheco versus Salim? Guys, 2 years ago, I was high on Diego Pacheco. I was one of these guys who I liked what I saw. I liked the size. I liked the youth. I mean, I didn't mind his camp, Pacific Northwest, Benavidez senior guy. And then as of late, his most recent form, really hasn't he really hasn't evolved into the guy I thought he was going to evolve into. And sometimes he goes through these lulls in a fight of looking a bit disinterested. And sometimes, we've seen Diego kind of look outmatched before. It really hasn't come back to burn him yet. But and then with Reese Aleem, we saw Aleem with Lester Martinez. He won a lot of fans, but he was competitive enough not to get stopped, right? I know a lot of boys picked Lester by knockout, and Aleem hung with him the entire time, and then this has propelled him into the Diego fight. How often do you go the distance with somebody? You don't win a lot of rounds, and then you get pulled into the ring for your next fight in a big feature spot on a big promotional card. This is Aleem, so I don't know where I stand with my bets on this. I wouldn't be too excited about betting on Diego Pacheco, but we'll see. Yeah, Bam got hit a lot. I think he'll run into some trouble. I got anyway beating Bam. Bam got hit a lot, man. Bam has a really noticeable tell. No one wants to talk about this, but every time Bam exits out of the pocket, he does the same reset. His resets are so predictable. He's in the pocket, he exits 2 steps, and he puts his hands down, and he kind of shakes it out, and then he comes back in. I'm not saying like he was getting hit way too much for me on the ropes too. That was another thing. He seems a bit vulnerable when he has his back on the ropes because a lot of people are like, we love his movement. His footwork is poetic. He's gliding in there. Gorgeous footwork. His footwork is a product of, God-given ability, but his entire life in the gym. This is a kid who grew up in the gym, and you could just see all the effort and hours he's put into his craft. And this is Bam Rodriguez, but no such. I don't think there's no such thing as a perfect fighter. Like, would I call Bam a perfect fighter? No way. He definitely has holes. He has tells in his reads of how he starts and stops and how he exits the pocket and comes back in. Both hands always go down, chin goes up, and then he resets. Maybe there's a guy out there who can make him pay in between those spots. You find those little breaks and then you press. I didn't like him on the ropes, and I respected Antonio Vargas all fight week. You guys, the one thing you'll know about my channel if you're new to the channel is I give each side, the A and B side, love. I'm not a hater. I'm not a troll. I'm not a casual. I grew up fighting, and so the last thing you're ever going to hear me say is this guy's a bum. And I thought it was going to be competitive, and Vargas was up on the cards. There were moments too where Bam was kind of like, at the end of rounds 1, 2, he's on the ropes and he was allowing Vargas to do the pity pat sort of stuff. And Vargas was throwing, just touching him. Oh, Japan almost equalized in the 80th minute. Shot on goal. This is a fun game, man. That over ain't right. They cheat him, bro. Life's fast. You're my guy. Andy Cruz not. Do your homework, Julius. You know where Albert Bell's from. You know where I'm from. I'm taking Albert Bell. Northeast Ohio, stand up. Cleveland, Ohio, baby. We up. I can't wait for that card. If I was in America, if I wasn't living in Australia, I would go to that card. Abdullah Mason, Albert Bell, Tiger Johnson. Or no, my bad. Albert Albert Bell should be on that card. He's not. He's a Cleveland, Ohio kid. It's Tiger Johnson and Shushu Carrington on the Abdullah Mason card. I'm pretty sure that I'd have to look. The Albert Bell and Cruz fight is probably on a different card. That's what they're saying. That last night Bam looked more hittable. What do you think about him versus Monster? I mean, we've seen what's up, everything by John. We've seen Monster too, though, brother. Like Inoue isn't the Inoue from 5 years ago, so it's a very interesting fight. They have to make that fight. I'd like to see that fight next. They're talking about Bam fighting Medina at 18 and then going up. The boys aren't happy about that. So, boxing. Sometimes in boxing with the greats, it's all about when you catch them, either on the decline or on the ascension. A most popular one is, when Floyd chose to fight Canelo. But this is boxing. This is boxing, dating back to the early days, matchups, matchmaking. They have to make hopefully the fight gets made in the next 365 days because that's the fight we all want to see. It's hard to bet against Inoue, though. It is. Like, for everything Bam does exceptionally well, I just think in terms of Inoue's like how he operates. Inoue is, I think, just a bit sharper, like tighter with his technique. It's hard to explain when you see those two guys. Like I'm very interested what those odds would be, because then it's like, imagine Bam opening up as a dog. It's like, how do you pass Bam as a dog? You know what I'm saying? So well, there's a lot to have to still happen for that fight to take place. Like I said, Eddie was talking about the Medina fight. We'll see what happens. 14. This is gonna come back to haunt us. Fucking hell. What could you do though? Let's do something real quick. What if I got flat? You know what? I was gonna do 14-second clock, but then I saw the World Cup in the reflection. I have PTSD from getting flagged. I told you guys they took my channel in 2023. I had to rebuild 2022. I had to rebuild this shit from scratch. Bro, definitely got sharper. This a learning moment. Yeah. Proof books definitely got sharper. Good shit from Bam. Yep. I This is what Lil Showtime is saying is actually an interesting point. I think, do you think that that's a thing, that like communities like 3D, communities like mine, communities like Tommy and Paulie, we're actually all one community broken up into a couple thirds. There's not a lot of guys out there who do what Gary does, what I do, and streaming every day, talking about the odds, giving you our reads. It does seem it does seem like the books have tightened their game up a bit. I'm just gonna say. So it's just gonna force us to step our game up. It's all good. DC ski UFC easy work tonight. What's the part? I posted it, bro. It's in. I posted it on the channel. You should have all my picks, Johnny. Since we're not getting Takuma Bam next, what's your thoughts on Medina? This, you know, we know they were talking about Medina. I think we're just all kind of like anxious. It's kind of like when you're a kid and you're taking a road trip with your parents, or maybe it's like, a traveling baseball league, and it's like a 2-hour drive and you just want to get there, but you're stopping at like every gas station. One of your sisters has to go to the bathroom, or it's like, we just want to get there. We just want to see Bam versus anyway. So I think there's a lot of anxiety between that. People, the fans, we just want to see it happen. If Hoke at Ilya Bow at plus 100 hit, I go 4 for 6. Yeah. This is the ticket that Yeah, this is the ticket that I gave early days. I posted this on Tuesday. That's what I like. I like Hokit. I like Ilya. I like Bo. Cardenas, this is a great read. Cardenas at plus 110 is a great read. Guys, there's 50 people in here. We're about 30 minutes in. I'm going to stay on. We're going to go over the odds right now. We'll look at the action. I'll pull the book up. We'll look at the action that's left today. We have that Salinas Promotions card. Joshua Pagan's fighting soon. We know that we got Bomba Martinez versus Perez in the main event there. The UFC starts in about 2.5 hours. And we got the Netherlands versus Japan in the 85th minute. It's 2-1. If you've been watching this game, the Dutch were controlling the first 30 minutes. Goes into halftime, tied 0-0. They score, and then Japan immediately neutralizes it at 1. And then the 70th minute, the Dutch score again. So it's literally like a counter boxer. Like when you watch World Cup soccer played at the highest level, it's like watching two really world-class fighters countering each other, playing defense. The style of play is the most fascinating thing to me. A guy who's a casual is being able to see the differences in the style. Like that year, I think it was 2014 when the Dutch lost to Germany. Netherlands plays such a fluent, free sort of carefree style, and the Germans play this very specific, defensive-minded, technical, not a lot of risk style. They want to slow the game down, and Japan kind of does. This is what Japan looks like to me. They started real patient. It looks like Japan's gonna get a free kick. Okay, Joshua Pagan fights in 15 minutes. So the action I have on Pagan, I took him at plus 112. Well, he was $1.12. I have him on a. I gave it. So there's a. I'm not gonna out him. One of the JSB insiders is a guy who he's a professional. He gambles for a living, and he'll text me, "Hey, who do you like?" And he'll be like, "Hey, I got 10K. I got 10K to win 5,000. Or if I put 20K on this, could you build me a 60% return?" So with that being said, and I don't share these tickets publicly, but I'll tell you who I gave them. Yeah, Nickel O'Malley Taporia. But then we also put on Alif Tehran. So Nickel O'Malley Taporia and then Auntie Alif. Auntie Alif already won. It's a nice little. That's getting him plus money return. He's gone heavy. So fingers crossed. I hate what that puts a lot of stress on me too, though. I don't really like when certain people message me and say, "Hey Johnny, I have $20,000. Could you give me a 50% return?" That's stressful for me. You know what I mean? Because my unit is far from 20K. All right, I'm not getting any of the chat. So if you guys are commenting, keep it up. The chat kind of stopped. I don't know why. It's all good though. I'm gonna go over the odds. So I like obviously Pagan here. Okay, Japan has a free kick, 88th minute. Goal, Japan 2-2, equalized in the 88th minute. Mosby, you must be ahead of me. Oh my god, dude, what a sport this is, dude. What a sport this is. Japan equalizing in the 88th minute. Heartbreaking stuff. Heartbreaking stuff for the Dutch. Wow. Who you got your action on, Mosby? Beautiful header off of a deflection, off a corner kick. How many deflections? So striker hits it in the head, off a Dutch player, off the goalie's hands into the goal. That's a crazy goal. So Pagan's not a bit. If you guys are playing along, this fight, Pagan's not a big puncher. So if we want to do a sneaky, you know what? I'm gonna do this real quick with you guys. These I'm gonna take Pagan on points. He's not a big puncher. We'll do this together. So let me put my. So this will be if you're still here 35 minutes in. There's 60 of you in here. This is my play. I'm gonna put this action right now. So Joshua Pagan on points. We'll do a little sneaky double. 161. We got to find another bet. We got to find another fight. And then. So I already have Bomba on one ticket. So for the sake of not toasting two tickets, for me, my philosophy is I already have Bomba on one ticket. I don't want to risk picking him on a second ticket, but I'm not going to go Perez. I'm going to see if we get a prop here. Will the fight go the distance? All right, that's plus money. I'm going to play this. Will the fight go the distance? Yes. So if you take Pagan on points and Bomba Gonzalez versus Abraham Perez, fight to go the distance, yes. That's plus 144. I'm putting it in right now. I'm using my phone though, so you guys don't see my login details. All right, here's my action, just so you know. So I have this. I just put this in play on the live stream for the boys. Plus 144. The fight's starting 7 minutes. Pagan on points, 161. Bomba versus Perez, to go the distance, $1.52. The only way I lose now is if Perez knocks Bomba out, I lose both my tickets. Hopefully the gods are in our favor. All right, they're giving them 6 minutes extra time. I put money on both teams to score. Get it. All right, ask some UFC questions if you guys want. Just because I'm juggling. I got a client downstairs in a little bit. The chat says there's 62 in here, but the chat itself, I'm not getting the comments, which is crazy. Let me see if the live chat is doing anything here. Dude, the chanting is insane. I love it. Okay, so let's pull this up. So I got Pagan on points, Bomba to go the distance. That's plus money. Let's do another. We're gonna do some UFC. That's already plus money. Let's see what that. Let's Ryo. What's up, buddy? I'm gonna go to the UFC now. Do I still have Steve Garcia? Yeah, I do. Garcia cuts a lot of weight. Diego Lopez cuts a lot of. Diego Lopez had to weigh in twice, by the way. He had to weigh in at 145, and he weighed in to make weight as the replacement at 155. Not that that matters. Not that he's weighing in at a weight class below. But my boots are already dug in, Mosby. I don't flip flop. I put my Steve Garcia bet in last Monday at plus 160. He's down to like plus I think 122. He's notoriously a guy who doesn't cut well. Dude, Japan is so happy for this draw. A draw, I mean, I guess in World Cup play, a draw, you're getting points, is way better than an L. 2 minutes left of extra time. It's 2-2. So what did he say? Ryo said Taporia first round knockout. What does that say? I mean, that's the Taporia by knockout. I have a play on that. I didn't look at the round knockout. Taporia by knockout, $1.53, mate. Like 53% return. That's a comfortable bet. I gotta be honest with you. Taporia first round knockout plus 225. I'm not mad at it. I like that bet. Both guys are gonna stay right in the pocket. Justin Gaethje, we know everything that he brings to the table. Aggressive, legend, wants to go out on a sword. And we know about Ilya. A minute left in extra time. Oh. And the Dutch just had a shot on goal. Japan playing good defense here, clears it. Oh, still. It looks like this one's going to finish 2-2. So anyone play the draw here, boys? I don't mind Taporia by first round knockout. Like, depending on what your unit is, any action. If you don't have action, I mean, it's worth the sprinkle. I think that's a very likely outcome. Another shot on goal. Dude, the Netherlands this second half has had, I think Japan's only had a few, less than, I've only seen a few shots on goal by Japan in the second half, and they managed to get two. So they're just really efficient. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of a testament to their style of play. On the other hand, the Dutch, I've seen the Dutch just in the last 5 minutes have 4 shots on goal. So I do have a method of victory. and it's gonna end in a draw. Japan's celebrating the draw like it's a victory. Okay, I guess. See, this is where my casualness comes into play. I guess at this level, because I'm not, my sporting background, I'm not used to anyone ever celebrating a draw. But I guess when you were down, so Japan scores in the 57th and 89th minute, the Dutch score in the 51st and 64th minute. Fun game, 4 goals in the second half. Who do you think, Ryo, Edwin? Oh man, I know they just called this fight. Edwin hasn't fought in a long time. Ryo just fought kind of a clubber. I it's a tough. I don't know. Are we getting odds? July 29th. Freaking hell, man. See, this is the bookies think they're slick. De Los Santos at plus money, man. I like Ryo though. I like his fight style. I like how brave he is. You know what I mean? He fights with such a he's very courageous in there. Sometimes in boxing, courage will get you hurt, and we've seen him hurt before. Edwin De Los Santos is a real guy. Plus money's pretty crazy. He's been really inactive. There it is, Javona. I see. I agree with you on that. Those odds are tempting. Okay, so we got Pagan. Let's see if the boys are streaming the Pagan fight. This is our Discord. Who knows what we're about to see? None of Salido's fighters could crack Munoz is eating everything. Edwin De Los Santos or Raul Venezuela. McElroy looks like Brunson.
His way off. Good left hook.
Okay, so that's still McElroy and Munoz. So my book, if you're in Australia, guys, and you want action on Pagan, your book is going to say that fight's starting soon, but it's probably still a couple hours away. So if you want action on the Pagan fight, you probably should put your bets in now. 7:58. This is what the chat's saying about. This is for all the UFC and a lot of the chat. We have sharps in there. Shout out to Blue Bets, Luke, Boss Christos. These boys are always giving away free game. Let's see what they're saying. Okay, what's this one? So this is one of the boys in the chat. This is his action. Ilya money line over 1 minute. Damn, your books are giving you so many props. My books don't offer props like this. Rufy to win by knockout, which I do have a play on. Pereira alternate point. What does Pereira plus 13.5 mean? How is Pereira getting points? Josh Hokett, Derek Lewis, Hokett money line, $15 bonus bet. Yeah, you got the props you guys get are crazy. Sure. Oh, you know what? We have a ticket page. shout out to our shout out to our mod Gil. I forgot that he created a ticket page for the boys to put all their tips in. So this is Sharks ticket. Hokit money line, O'Malley money line, Taporia money line, 176. So this is kind of giving you some insider insight if you're not in our Discord. We have really, really sharp betters in there. So this is like, play three favorites, get 76% return. I did this exact bet, but I paired those three with Auntie Talif, and that's how I got plus money. Dude, you guys in the chat were crazy yesterday. Shout out to Barry Unboxing Boy. We almost had to rename the Discord. We almost had to rename the Discord, boy. He had people thinking that Tortina is the next Bam Rodriguez. So the whole chat were taking Tortina to beat Auntie Talif. But that's the one thing about our chat, boy. We will give you some good reads, and it was a great read. It just sometimes you can't control outcomes. I did have Auntie Talif up by 2 rounds. I thought, the power, the aggression was enough. But, we'll see about Tortina. And she was fighting up a weight class too. I think I should mention that. That wasn't her natural weight class. She's 19 years old. She fought was way better than I thought. Shout out to our Discord. Don't cry if Gon gets a stoppage. Yeah, I'm not high on. I don't have action on that fight. I don't. I'm gonna watch that fight as a fan, not as a bettor. Gon versus Pereira. There's so many on there's just a few variables that I don't like. Like Pereira, what's he going to look at heavyweight? Cyril Gane, great mobility, great feet. Will Alex be able to get Cyril Gane to stand in front of him? We know Gane's a big athletic heavyweight who likes to use the entire octagon. So betting on that fight for me, I'm not betting on it. All my action are on the three fights we spoke about and Steve Garcia as my dog. And I'm going to live and die with those bets. So this is what a name, the Egyptian prescription. He's taken the over 2.5 Pereira and Gone. O'Malley's a hobby over 1.5. Nickel Dawkins over 2.5. Diego Garcia over 2.5. So those are his bets. And if you're new to my channel, this is the benefit for a couple bucks a month. You not only get my picks are a small fraction of the value. You get to become part of this betting community. It's professional. You don't have to worry about trolling. We live stream all the fights and sporting events. It's boxing, MMA, all pro sports. NBA playoffs, NBA finals just ended. Shout out to the Knicks. Shout out to one of our guys. It's a big Knicks fan. Fresh BX is a big congrats to Fresh BX for the Knicks getting one. I talked a lot of shit about the Knicks, but that's just who I'm a Cleveland sports fan. I got no room to talk shit. But the value in our Discord is the community aspect. Shout out to Bum Equipment. Ooh, going with Derek Lewis. Look at that plus 7,000. Taking Derek Lewis as a dog, which I disagree. This might be a donation bet, Bum. We might call this the donation. Kyle Dawkins to beat Bo Nichols. Crazy work. Diego Lopez, fair enough. He's the favorite. Rufy, he's the favorite. Pereira, 50-50. Okay, so it's a mix. It's some chalk and some dogs all rolled into one plus 7,000. Why not? You know what I'm saying? If you sprinkle. If you're a sprint, not everybody is betting big units, so that's not bad. Oh, PJ, I just saw PJ messages me at 1:36 a.m. I was dreaming. I'm dreaming all alone in the dark. I'm safer here. I actually wrote that song. I used to sing in a band, playa. But I was dreaming at 1:36. My plays are up, bro. Check the Patreon and check YouTube members only section. I'm dreaming all alone in the dark. So MMA slips, boxing slips. This is where it gets kind of people don't really want to be sharing the boxing slips. Artiga lost. Tierra Brown won. O'Shea Jones draw. Boxing booth in this hoe. The only everybody see Artiga burned all of us. Oh, you guys took Bermudez. I stayed away from the Bermudez fight. I stayed away from the O'Shea fight. I might have had O'Shea, but she drew. And Artiga screwed a lot of us, didn't she? I had Artiga winning though. I thought that was a like 100 to win three. Damn, I didn't bet the Terrazza fight. Cardenas won. Turan on points. I didn't bet the Bermudez fight. Artiga, yeah, Artiga screwed all of us. Shout out to No Limit. New York Knicks. Damn, No Limit out here. Betting the Knicks. Boom, boom. Good hit, brother. No Limit with his picks. See, we got sharps in all the channels, boys. So, you could find $6 a month. You know, that's why I don't like talking about it too much. We just broke 530 JSB insiders. We haven't even been here a year. We started in August. Best, hands down, the best sports betting community. Shout out to No Limit. He's a G. This guy, if you want to see this dude, win Santiago always wins. Okay, so that's a little bit older. Billum Smith. Look at these. My man plays the waiting game. He has Bam on a ticket with Papago and CBS and Padley and Cutler. So this is what you're doing is you're learning different strategies of betting. Some people play the long game, some people play the short game. We got live betting. So understanding how to win consistently, you have to have an open mind. You don't have an ego. Bet with your wallet, not your heart, and understand what your bankroll is. Knowing, having a specific bankroll, having boundaries on what to bet and what not to bet, knowing when to stop. Guys, there's 7 fights in the UFC today. You don't have to bet every single fight. There's boxing on. You don't have to bet every single fight. That is a fool's way to lose all your money. Just because there's a fight on doesn't mean we need to bet it. So check yourself before you wreck yourself. Dad joke. But it's the best advice I could give you at this end of the stream. If you're still watching this 52 minutes in, there's 62 of you in here. I say thank you. We put together a double. It's plus money. Joshua Pagan on points. The Bomba Martinez fight to go the distance. We just did that on the live. You guys by now should know my UFC picks. Those fights start in 2 hours. If you're in the Discord, we'll be streaming the UFC event in the Discord. Save you $70. There you go. Guys, you're the best community, man. Win, lose, or draw. JSB Insiders, we up. I can't reiterate it enough how much I enjoy doing what I do. The relationships I'm forming with a lot of you guys. You know, some of you guys have my mobile number. We talk. I appreciate everybody. Just because we disagree doesn't mean we have beef. And I got love for everyone. So, best community in the world, JSB Insiders. We up.